is Mike Pfaff, and this is my YouTube channel, Living in the Illusion. Now, last video we got together, we had a lot of fun, and it was about love. Tell me how much you love me. Well, that was the title. And basically it was around looking at the word love and understanding a little bit about what love is. And in our discussion, at least I wanted to bring out the fact that there is no one definition for love. When we talk about love, it is situation dependent. It depends on the situation that you are in. When you say love, what are you communicating? Now, we're communicating all the time. And we talked about that and the 3 levels of communication, which are the words we use, and then the how we present the words, how we say the words. But most of our communication is nonverbal and has nothing to do with words. Now, the breakdown is usually about 7% words, 30-some% of the communication is how we say the words. And the rest of it is all nonverbal. So the nonverbal is really how we communicate. We like to think we communicate with words, but words are only symbols that stand for something else. So when we're saying the word love, we have to know what we're talking about. It's not the word itself that has a tremendous amount of meaning, but it is how we say the communication and how we communicate non-verbally what our inside intention is. So that was a lot of fun to go through that, and in that also recognized that we have 2 worlds. And also, you may recognize that we're still on a journey that we started some time ago to look at the first 220 or so lessons in the Course in Miracles, which are designed to make you aware of the illusion or the egoic world that we are captured by, and how we can break out of that illusion. So we have 2 worlds. We have the outside world and we have the inside world. And we're going to expand upon that in our next or this video that we have this time, which is a continuation of what we started last time. I know it didn't look like it, but it is. It is to get around the idea that we have 2 worlds. An interesting concept. So, I'm going to start off by making this statement. I got to change my notes here. Uh, every invention you can think of is created twice. And the first time you create it inside in your mind. Unless it's in your mind or somebody else's mind, you're not going to see it, the invention, outside of you. It'll always be partially or mostly inside. So why is that important? To begin to recognize that the inside world is the creator of the outside world. Oh, how mysterious is that? Your inside world. And we talked a little bit about how we create the inside world. And I'll draw a little diagram in a few moments to refresh our memory on that. That the inside world is projected onto the outside. And then our sensory information brings that information in again. See, it's a loop situation. It's a loop situation. You create on the inside. You bring things together on the inside. Then you project them on the outside, and then you see them on the outside and bring that information back to you. So it is inside, outside, around, inside. We change that, make it a little bit better, a little bit worse, project it again onto the outside. So it goes around and around and around. And we think the outside's real. And the inside is made up in your head. And you may have had people say that. It's all in your head. They do that about a lot. They say that about a lot of things, particularly mental health. It's all in your mind. Change your mind and things will go better. Now here's the kicker. The outside is the imaginary world. And the inside is the only world you have. Now, if you're familiar with the writings of the Upanishads, which is an ancient Sanskrit language, you'll find out that they're in their understanding, this is about 300, 500 BC, or maybe more, that the inside is the only world you have, and the outside is a projection. But it doesn't look that way in the illusion. So we're going to be talking about that, and the fact that I have, as you have, invented the world you see. Now, seeing comes up a lot in our discussions. And as we talked about before several times, you don't see with your eyes. Your eyes don't see objects. Your eyes just transmit information in the form of electromagnetic and sometimes chemical messages. So it's data. The eyes transmit information that you interpret inside. And you probably have not thought about it that way. That you create on the inside based upon data that you get from the outside. Now the data doesn't change. The data is what it is. The interpretation on the inside changes. So if you have a friend who is observing the outside energy and bringing it in, you will both interpret that information slightly different. Slightly different. But the majority of it, it will be pretty much the same. And so you say, oh, the world is outside because you see it and I see it and we interpret it on the inside almost the same. Therefore, it's the real world outside. Because that's how we, in the illusion, determine what is really going on is by consensus with somebody else. So now this is a lot of heavy talk. And, this isn't entertainment. This isn't happy a comedy show. This is information to support you in changing how you see your world. Now, if you got a happy world and you got a loving world and you like your world, it's not going to have much effect on you. But if you don't like your world, now how many of us don't like our world? Well, judging by YouTube, as an example, a lot of us. Why do I say that? Because a lot of us want to change the outside world. And that's why we want to manifest. Now you look up on YouTube and look up manifesting, and you will see a gob of information about manifesting, which means you don't like your world because you're trying to manifest something that you don't have that you want. And there's a lot of people that do that. That's why I know there's a lot of people who do not like the world that they have. Now here's the other part. You invented the world that you see. The world that you see outside is an effect what you're doing inside. Oh, we can't think that way. Because if we think that way, we're responsible. No, I'm a victim of the world. If I don't like my world and it's not giving me what I want, I'm a victim of it. You're not a victim of your world. You're the creator of your world. And that's another question. If you go, I say YouTube because that's my line of communication. That's where I get a lot of my, that and Google and other online sources of information. And everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people are wanting to manifest a different life, which means they're not happy with the one they got, or they're not happy enough and want something different. Manipulating the outside evidence, the outside effect of your inside world won't change your inside world. You gotta, now that's why we're going to go through a little drawing to look at how you change your inside so that your outside reflection will be better. And how magnificent will that be? So stick around and we'll get back and we'll have some more fun. See you in a moment. Well, we're back from our little journey of writing on the board. And I put a topic for today as it is kind of discussed in A Course in Miracles. I invented the world I see. I invented the world I see. Well, what do you see? What do you think you see? Now, to get us started, try saying that phrase to yourself using I. There's an I statement. I invented the world I see. So say that. How did it make you feel? Did you feel excited? That yes, I did that. And therefore I'm the creator of the world that I have brought into being or invented. Now, also on the little diagram, because we're talking about two worlds, the outer world and the inner world. The outer world and the inner world. And they're separated. I drew a little gap here. Because this outer world, the only way we know about the outer world, and that's why there's a gap between them, is because of the information that we get from our senses. Now, I want you to recognize at this point, none of the data from any of the senses goes to your physical body. I probably should say that again, because it's counterintuitive to what we normally believe. None of the information from the outside world or outside energy system goes to the physical body directly. Now, we've discussed this in other videos, and it is counterintuitive because we are sure the body is seeing things, is feeling things, is reacting to the outside world. I want to assure you the body does not do that directly. The only way information comes from the outside and comes to the inside part of us that we're calling the inside world is through the five senses. Some people think there's more than that, and in fact, scientifically, there is. But most people think, oh, I got a sixth sense, that I'm feeling stuff. It's not with the body. The body doesn't feel anything out here directly. So now you have five senses that connect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bunch of squiggly lines. Why? We don't know what's going on. Out of these squiggly lines come information. So each of these senses send information. So we got visual, auditory, kinesthetic, olfactory, and gustatory. Sight, hear, touch, smell, taste. The five senses. And out of that, all of that information, is this starting to look familiar? I hope it does, because it's time for you to realize how you really operate in your world that you invented. So you look at the internet, and I spend a lot of time on YouTube looking up a lot of stuff. And a common question that comes up, do I create my world? This is part of the proof. But the answer is absolutely. If you want a different world, who's got to change? The outside energy system or your inside world? Now look again. The outside, the energy system, the energy system inside, your inside world, invents the outside world. This is the data that comes through, but the data is meaningless. I better put data down here. Data. The data coming from the senses is meaningless to the body and to what's going on in here, except how it is interpreted by the subconscious mind. Now, why would I say interpreted by the subconscious mind? Because that's where your belief system is. That's what you know to be true for you. The subconscious mind holds all your experiences, all your memories, and they coalesce. The memories coalesce into belief systems. Most of your beliefs within the system are unknown to your conscious mind. of your basic beliefs of how you believe the world operates were in place before you were 7 years old. And the greater portion of those were put in place before the age of 3. And you don't remember those. You don't even know how they got there, except you operate on them. You operate your world, your inner world, on those belief systems. And as you do, as you take in the information, and I often think about, and I might have mentioned this before, as a metaphor. Now, every once in a while, I get some stuff that I want to get rid of. Maybe some pots and pans, maybe a chair that's in the way because I want to put something else in. So I take them to a store. And in my neighborhood, there's a Goodwill where you take the stuff and you donate it for the good of the community or just to get it off your deck so you can put something else on. So I take this stuff over to the clothes. Clothes is a big one because, every year they change styles and you get rid of your clothes. So I take them over and I donate them. So I want you to kind of picture this. Now they're trying to make money in the front end of the store. So you donate them in the back end. And they take them out, clothes for instance. They take them out of a little bag that you carried them in, and they put them in a big tote, or 2 or 3 totes. And then somebody who knows what's going to sell out in front goes through those and sorts through them. So there's a lot of clothes, and they sort through them. And now he comes out and he picks up one pair of pants. He says, "Oh, now that's a good pair of pants. I can sell that." He puts it over here. He picks up another one. "I can sell that." And he puts it over here. He picks up another one, a shirt. He says, "I can sell." Oh, wait a minute, it's missing a button and it's got a stain on it. Can't sell that. Puts it over here. And he picks up a pair of shoes. Oh, the heel's missing. I put it over here, can't use it. Now I want you to picture this data as clothes in a tote. And somebody comes over, the subconscious mind in this case, and goes through that. Picks this one here, this is a good one, this is a good one. Oh, can't use that, puts it over here. So, like grease lightning, the subconscious mind just goes through and picks out stuff and throws stuff away and picks stuff out. And then, at the end, you get what you can use. You get what you can use. So now, that data is filtered. Just like those clothes. What you can use, what you can't use based upon what you know from your past. You have a different data over here. There's data 1 from the senses, raw. I'll put raw down. Raw data, number 1. 2, useful. information. This is what you make your world out of. This becomes your world. This is your inside world. A lot different than the information coming from the senses into you. A lot different. So this is your world. This is your inside world. Inside world. Well, in the egoic world, in the illusion, you believe there's only one world. It's the outside world. But now you have an inside creation. You know, in psychology, they've done a lot of work in psychology. But if you have, say, a cat that you raise in a room that only has vertical lines, and the cat adjusts from a very young age to the vertical lines. And that becomes its world, the vertical line. Now, you take that cat and you put him in a little box and you take him into a room, into a world that has horizontal lines, no vertical lines, horizontal lines. You know what the cat will do? He'll try to lay over so that he sees his world vertically. Interesting process. So the cat will fall down to line up with his world, because he has been taught and believes that that's what the world is. So he'll lay it over. Funny thing to see. That's what we got here. You have been raised to believe the outside world is the only world, the real world. And so, but this is your world. So what do? Now, Freud did this. This was Sigmund Freud's contribution, along with his daughter, Anna, who also worked with him in the later years, called projection. And what it is you project what you believe is inside onto the outside, because that's what you believe. The outside's the real world. So here's the world you created. You invented this world based upon your belief system and your past experiences. And you will project it onto the outside because you believe that's where it has to be. You will not recognize that you're doing it inside. Oh, how exciting is that? So what you think is outside, what you think you are seeing outside, is what you're creating inside. It's what you've invented through your thought process, through your belief system, as being your world. And then you project it, just like the cat leaning over trying to bring its world into focus. You'll project it out here and believe with all your might your inside world is outside. Course in Miracles recognized that. Now keep in mind that's a channel book. It's an esoteric book. But it has a lot of wisdom in it. And there's a lot of wisdom in the ancient world. So, your inside world is an invention of your belief system and the filtered data from all your senses. And that's what you use to create what you think is outside. Now, why does it seem solid, like that board? That's a different process. Takes a little longer to recognize. But quantum mechanics will tell you, all this is energy. What you think of as a solid object is still energy. It's just frequency is very slow. So slow that your senses can pick up different information than when it's going really fast. So, where are we at now? Now you said that I invent the world I see. Might make you feel a little strange to see how clever you are at inventing the world you think is out here. Oh, we have a lot to talk about here in the illusion. Nothing is what you think it is. Give that some thought. And as you look around your room, you can say with confidence, I invented the world I see here. And when you are at work, or at the store, or driving your car, you can say with confidence, I invented the world I see here. What's the importance of that? When you know you're the inventor of the world you see, when you know you're the inventor, you can invent something different. If you believe that this is real out here and somebody else, the outside world, is different from your invention, then you become a victim of it. A victim. But when you recognize you're the inventor, you can change it. A little different process than manifesting. But this is how the real world operates. Even in the illusion. So, we look forward to seeing you next time we get together. Be good to yourself. Recognize you're the creator of your world. And with compassion and love, you can change it. Bye now.
you.